Jabra's added another piece to the puzzle, but is the piece too puzzling? Let's talk about the Jabra Elite 5. Goedendag, weer DHRME. Dual homies reviewing most earbuds.
So we'll break this video into 3 sections. 1. The full lowdown on what the Jabra Elite 5 is. 2. How does it stack up with Jabra's other offerings? And 3. Should you buy it?
Jabra buds always do well at the basics, build quality, calls, comfort and features, and the new Elite 5 continues in that tradition. So let's start with the build. Jabra at this point has 2 kinds of cases. The ones the Elite 7 series have and the ones for everything else. The Elite 5 falls clearly into the everything else category and we like it. It's pocketable, compact and the case comes with wireless charging. It also carries 21 hours of charge in the case, whereas despite the tiny size of the buds, Jabra packs in 7 hours of battery life with ANC on, and that is a solid number for everyone but the most demanding of users. Jabra's Sound Plus app still has some of the best customization you can ask for, be it sound, calls, ANC or buttons. There is every single option you can possibly dream up. These are the same style of buds that Jabra's new lineup has. Small, compact, and they use buttons for control. The buttons feel pretty easy to touch and not as tough as the Elite 4 Active. And as is Jabra's way, these buds are solid in the IP rating department at IP55. So whether it be dust or light rain or your own sweat, you can use them without worries.
And Jabra continues its extravaganza of features. Fast Pair from Google is on board, and that means you pair once on Android using your Google account, and it's available on all your Android devices without having to pair with them. You can get the full Google Assistant experience too, for example, replying to notifications or checking battery levels. However, we could not get the more advanced commands like enabling noise cancellation to work. And then you have Alexa that you can enable on both Android and iOS. And if you are indeed looking beyond Android, you're in luck. You get Microsoft Swift Pair. You thought we were going to say iOS, weren't you? Okay, there's that too. They have the made for iPhone branding. And across all these platforms, these earbuds also offer Bluetooth multipoint, which means irrespective of your operating system, you can stay connected to 2 devices at once. Not a surprise since Jabra has done this before with many of their earbuds. So let's talk about the 3 sound related things, starting with lack of sound.
Look, Jabra's ANC in general is fine. They're not top of the line like the Sony or the Bose, but they do well in the sense we tested these in a train and it was fairly effective in cutting down the low-end sounds that a train produces. Voices less so, but with music on you can be relatively cut off from the world. That applies to most earbuds that are not great at noise cancelling but are good. Jabra states that the tech in these is hybrid ANC, which is actually better than their more expensive 7 series. Confusingly though, when we asked a question again, they said that overall the 7 series still performed better. So these are not the best ANC buds but do a decent job in real life conditions. The transparency mode on the other hand is very good. Again, I thought something like 2 or 3 out of a scale of 5 felt close to natural volumes like having nothing in your ear. So there's plenty of amplification to go around. At higher hear-through or transparency levels, the white noise also gets ramped up quite a bit though.
Jabra prides itself in its microphones, and in our limited testing, we had no reason to think that the Elite 5 performed any better or worse than Jabra's other offerings. In a call in a noisy train, the voices of other people around us were also picked up, but at no point was a speaker's voice drowned out or inaudible. The 6 microphones on the Elite 5 are a solid pick, although people have complained that the 7 series sometimes fall apart when there's too much background noise. So that might be something to keep in mind. Also, despite the number of microphones, the Elite 5 does not have the jawbone sensor tech from the 7 Pro that helps isolate the voice. So that's something Jabra has reserved for its flagship. But let's not forget, Jabra has easily some of the best controls on its earbuds, and our fuckman hearts are happy. Auto answer calls, auto mute when you take your earbuds out of your ear, a 5-point side tone scale to hear your own voice, quick access to call controls in the app. Best of all, you can change volume and mute phone calls right from the earbuds. And if that's not enough, you can customize a triple press to do things like put a call on hold, resume calls, and even turn on or off side tone if you're in an especially noisy environment. Easily the most full-featured calling solution. And that makes sense since Jabra has a solid enterprise division that makes conference calling solutions. But enough of us talking. Here's a sample of us talking using these earbuds. Let us know what you thought.
Alright guys, pretty windy conditions here. This is the Jabra Elite 5. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. So the combination of wind and traffic sounds. What did you think? And now this is the Jabra Elite 7 active in pretty windy conditions as my hair might indicate. And there's also a big truck next to me for some traffic sounds. So how does it sound? Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. And now this is Galaxy Bus in slightly more windy conditions. And of course we have an ambulance and all kinds of traffic sounds here. So out here is my voice now. The ambulance is done. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. So how do these sound? Well, to start off with, despite having a Snapdragon chip on board, these earbuds do not support any codec except aptX Classic. It's a strange choice because the chip does give them access to aptX HD and adaptive, but Jabra has decided not to use those codecs, which means the resolution is decent but never going to be excellent. Overall, the tuning is going for a sound with good clarity. Out of the box, I found that the 6mm drivers did a good job in the mids and the treble. Acoustic guitars sound clear and you can hear the finger sliding up the strings. Voices have a nice body, and something like a fuzz guitar in Jack White's Fear of the Dawn has a nice grit to it, even if it does sound a bit thin. However, these earbuds lack some serious bass, at least in the default tuning. And we do think this is a driver limitation because even when we switch the EQ to give us more bass, we somehow miss the thump of the mid bass. We always complain about buds being too bassy out of the box, but Jabra's gone the other way, so that may be a deal breaker for many of you.
So, Jabra's numbering system is beginning to make some sense. The models from cheaper to more expensive are numbered 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. So it might already be clear to you where the Elite 5 falls here. Between the 4 and the 7. Our insane math skills notwithstanding, the differences are a bit confusing once you delve into the details. So we're going to be super lazy and just paste some slides from Jabra's presentations. Here you go. Pause the video if you like tables and give it a like while you're at it. The biggest differences between the 5 and the 7 seem to be in the microphone and noise cancelling tech, and a lowered IP rating for fluids on the Elite 5. You also get a personalized sound setting on the Elite 7 Pros with My Sound. When compared with the Active 4 though, you get better microphones and something that's not on this chart. We much prefer the Elite 5's buttons over the 4 Actives buttons though. Of course, the prices are different too, but like we've come to expect from Jabra, those prices are far from static. So for the latest prices, check the links in the description of this video.
So the money question, should you get it? The Jabra Elite 5 is overall a solid offering. On paper, it checks everything you'd want from true wireless earbuds: portability, clear calls, and a very usable active noise cancelling and transparency mode. Its sound is clean and enjoyable without the bass though, and in true Jabra fashion, it brings you all the toppings: multi-point, assistance, fast pairing, swift pairing, and full customization through a killer app with all the options your tweaky heart could desire. However, at $150 or euros, can we recommend it? Well, yes and no. We like a lot of things about it, and you know, for a fuckman or a general user, these earbuds do everything you could want. Jabra has been smart with its branding. You now have a range of earbuds from 2 right up to 7 with a hole for the 6, which I'm guessing they will fill. But having said that, it's kind of hard to recommend this for any one thing. Like we saw in the last video though, Samsung Buds 2 is a pretty solid choice under $100, and Jabra's own cheaper products start looking pretty attractive as well, especially given the fact that these aren't giving you real S-tier sound or noise cancelling. And while we appreciate Jabra's efforts in sustainability, $150 is going to be a hard sell in a market where Samsung, Soundcore, One More and others are pumping out solid earbuds almost every month, it looks like. To be clear, while we don't love these earbuds, we do like them a lot. But at this price, that is not enough for us to make that commitment. But we can clearly see it being the case for many people out there. You've been finding love on a YouTube video about wireless earbuds, and we've been DHRME. Namaste.